Hello and welcome back to Understanding Blockchain Freedom. My name is Luke Stokes, and the purpose again of these videos is to demonstrate how we can use technologies like blockchains and cryptocurrencies to increase human freedom and hopefully get away from the monopoly on the use of force that is government as far as finding consensus for humanity. So in today's video, we're going to show how you can get your cryptocurrency off of a centralized exchange, in this case Coinbase, over to a more secure location where you control the private key, such as a Paperwallet or a Breadwallet, which is an application for iOS and Android. Again, the number one important rule of cryptocurrencies is if you don't control the private key, you don't control the cryptocurrency. Now, the first thing I want to show you is how to use the Breadwallet application. Now, this example shows it from Apple iOS, but you can use it on Android as well. Just you go ahead and install it. The first thing I'll ask you is whether or not you want to do a new wallet or you want to recover a wallet. Go ahead and click on New Wallet. You'll have this warning here when you go to actually set up your wallet and set up your recovery phrase. And it's really important that you make a copy of this recovery phrase. Write it down letter by letter, make sure you confirm it, and put that information in your secure password manager. And then go ahead and set up a passcode for your Breadwallet. And finally, you'll get to the point where you have your actual public Bitcoin address that you can send funds to in order to have them show up and have access to them from your Breadwallet. So that's what this QR code and that address is there. Now you can touch on that address and you can go ahead and copy that, or you can write it down character by character, but having that address available is important for when you want to send to that address from Coinbase. Now the next thing I want to show you is how to go ahead and create a Paperwallet. And a Paperwallet is essentially creating a Bitcoin public address and a Bitcoin private address that's never been on the network at all. It's completely disconnected from the network. And the best tool that I like to use for that is bitaddress.org. Now, depending on your level of paranoia, you might want to actually boot off a Linux distribution CD as an example, just to make sure that your computer is completely disconnected from the internet, doesn't have any viruses or anything like that. And then you load up the software that you can get directly, the open source software for bitaddress.org that you can get directly from GitHub. And then you run that completely disconnected from the internet. Now that's the most secure way to do it. What I'm personally comfortable with is go ahead and open up an incognito window, load up bitaddress.org into your browser. And once that's loaded, go ahead and turn off your network. Just go ahead and turn it off. And then you can actually start generating the randomness that's needed to create the seed. And this is all done in your browser completely. There's no connection to the internet or anything. So it's a pretty safe process that you can run through. Once that's done, you're going to actually get your first Bitcoin Paperwallet address. Now you'll see here there's a public address and there's a private address. And what you want to do is go ahead and copy both of those and switch over to your password manager. In this case, I'm using 1Password, and go ahead and create a new secure note and paste the information in there. Paste your secret, paste your private key, and then once you have that secured in your password manager, you can now send funds to that public address and be pretty sure that it's going to be there. Now you can generate as many addresses as you want through this process. I personally like to kind of spread my Bitcoin around a little bit. So I might have like a large address that I'm using for long-term storage. I might have a smaller address that I might want to use later. And I'll do a video in the future on how to use these addresses. What you'll eventually be doing is importing them into another wallet system once you actually want to spend that Bitcoin or do anything with that Bitcoin. And that's really important to do that correctly as well, because if you don't do that correctly, there might be a problem with change addresses or things like that. Generally, when you import a paper wallet, you want to import it and then move all of that Bitcoin to a new address, whatever wallet you're importing it in. So that's essentially how you create a paper wallet. Again, we'll talk more about how to use that in the future, but this is a great place for very long-term secure storage, never been on the network at all, and it's just a really great way to go. Now, this goes without saying, but I just want to say it just to be clear. Don't use the addresses that I'm demonstrating here. These are not addresses to be used by anyone. They're just examples that I'm giving. If you were to use these addresses, now that they're on this video, anyone could steal your Bitcoin that you were to send to these addresses. So just something to keep in mind. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and copy the public address to either the paper wallet you created or to the Breadwallet you created, and make sure that's in your buffer. You can do that with Control-C or Command-C if you're on a Mac. And then come in here to Coinbase and click on Send, and then hit Control-V or Command-V to paste your address there. That's your public address. Make sure it's right. Put in the amount you want to send. Go ahead and note the network fees that are involved. That's part of the blockchain technology for Bitcoin. You just have to pay those in order to transfer with it. And then click Send Funds. You can also put an optional message if you want. And you might see this message here if you haven't verified your account. Don't worry too much about that, but there's going to be a delay there if you haven't fully verified the identity on your account. Double check the public address, make sure it's correct. Send from your wallet, click on Confirm, and you're good to go. That's pretty much it. Once Coinbase.com says that your transaction is completed, you can verify that yourself with blockchain.info. Just go ahead and paste in the public address that you sent the Bitcoin to into the field here, and you should be able to see the full history of that transaction. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please go ahead and like and subscribe on YouTube at Understanding Blockchain Freedom. Also, you can sign up at Steemit.com. And my username there is Luke-stokes. If you give us a like, I'll go ahead and be rewarded by that blockchain in the creation of new Steem. So that's a really cool thing, a way for you to support this project without actually donating directly.